Hi guys, thank you for watching this short video. I want to show you how to get high quality leads using social media for your home improvement company without making the same mistakes that I did. And you know, I've made a lot of mistakes trying to make social media work for home improvement companies. And it took us a while to get to a strategy that was working consistently and profitably, but we finally got there, and I just want to show you how we managed to do that. So I'm sure you've had family and friends saying that you need to be doing things on Facebook. You need to be advertising on Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook. Why aren't you on Facebook? So you use a couple of £100 for advertising, and then you find out that it didn't really work that well for your business. The quality of the leads were poor, and this is sort of your typical response to people that recommend Facebook ads. And we were very much the same. The only person that was making money out of our ads was Mark Zuckerberg. However, you know, we thought the opportunity was there, and what it took us a while to realize is that nobody logs into Facebook with the intention of spending £5,000. Now, it sounds obvious to me now, but when I first heard that comment when I was trying to learn more about these high ticket items, is that, yeah, okay, people go on Facebook, they're not even considering spending £5,000, and that really helped us develop a strategy, and we realized what we really needed was a funnel. And off the back of that funnel, we think we've developed the best social media strategy for home improvement companies. And we believe that it can work for a whole range of home improvement companies. We've done it with conservatory roofs, we've done it with driveways, windows and doors, flooring, kitchens, bathrooms. It really is something that has taken us a long time to learn, but we really think that we're in an opportunity now where we can help companies become the market leader on social media. So how did I get to a position where I'm now doing a webinar on home improvement marketing? Well, basically it all started back in San Francisco. I was transferred from my previous employer to the US to basically start this water cooler business. And you know, San Francisco is the home of all the major tech companies. So you name it, Apple, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, they're all based in San Francisco, and that attracts a lot of nerdy people, nerdy techie people. And I started to obviously meet these people, and I became quite interested in digital marketing and how they were growing their businesses and things. So that's where my interest sort of started from. And when I got back to the UK, I was like, right, I'm going to create my own startup. So we developed this startup called Roocrew, which was supposed to change the way that jobs were presented online using sort of images, video and things to make jobs a little bit more interesting online. And we did quite well. You know, we got Late Rooms, Canon, Bet365. We were advertising jobs for well-known companies, but the cost per lead was just too high. And I'll tell you a story of when we first started. The whole strategy was going to be for Facebook advertising. So I set up these campaigns on a Friday evening. I was like, right, I'm going to let them go live and see what happens with £500. So I spent £500 Friday evening. I turned them on and I was like, right, I'm just going to sit here and watch the candidates come in. Started refreshing, like no candidates were signing up. And I was like, oh shit, like what's going on? £50 down, 100, 200, 300, 400, £400, no candidates. I came in on Monday morning, we'd done £500 and we'd got one single candidate. And I was like, wow, like, we've messed this up. Like Facebook advertising doesn't work. But I went back to the drawing board. I spent, you know, multiple thousands of pounds trying to learn a strategy and purchased online courses and things. And we finally managed to get the cost per candidate down to £17. So it went from £500 a candidate down to £17 a candidate. And whilst that still wasn't quite where we needed to be, you know, investors were like, you need to be getting tens of thousands of customers. And I was like, well, we've only got a budget of 15,000. There's not a huge amount more that we can do. So that kind of gave me my first real opportunity to try Facebook advertising. And then I was closing down the business, and basically my dad rang me up and he was like, I've got a family friend here, Mike, who wants to try garden verandas. can you do some Google AdWords for them? And I was like, yeah, I'll set that up. So I set up the Google Ads. We spent, a couple of £100. We got a few inquiries. I was like, can I try Facebook ads for this? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I started to get Facebook inquiries for £20 each. And I was like, wow, that's cheap. Let's see what other sort of home improvement companies we can try this for. So very quickly, we started working with conservatory roofing businesses, resin-bound gravel driveways, artificial lawns, hot tubs. And we started generating all these inquiries, and then nothing, we didn't get any sales. We went from generating a load of inquiries to no one actually arranging appointments on the back of it. People were taking maybe 20 calls before they'd even answer the phone. And, home improvement companies that are paying for us to advertise for them are then not expecting to pretty much have to call them 10, 15 times to schedule an appointment. So we were like, okay, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. I mean, this was our original ad. This is what we were doing before. Short piece of text, few images. They would click get quote, and then they would just submit their details. And it just wasn't working. People don't log on to Facebook to then be pitched for a quote of £5,000 for a conservatory roof. So we were kind of saved by the funnel. We did a lot of learning, again, of how to make this work for high ticket items. And we developed a different strategy. You can see here the text here was super long. We didn't think anyone was going to read it at first, but these outperformed the shorter ones massively. They were then sent to a landing page to submit their details to download a free brochure. Once they downloaded the free brochure, they would get 5 emails across 5 days educating them on why you might want a conservatory roof or an artificial grass or resin-bound gravel or a hot tub. And then we'd ask them whether or not they'd like a free quote. So they've had all this information. So if they still request a free quote after all of this, then I'm sorry, I don't know what else to do. They've had all this information. How can they then request a free quote if they're not interested? And thankfully, it worked for us. The number of leads going to appointment went up 515%. The cost per appointment went down 409%. So a huge difference, that totally transformed our way of thinking when it comes to Facebook advertising, especially when you're talking about high ticket items. So some of the questions that we get asked, or some of the objections we had when we first started doing it with home improvement companies was, well, my target market is not on Facebook. So we wanted to sort of present some stats here of what we found on Facebook's ad management, and it's basically showing us the types of people that are there and the demographics. So 19 million people aged between 40 to 65 in the UK are on Facebook. 9.3 million are homeowners. Over 6 million people are making over £40,000 per year. We had a company that was like, okay, well, if people are on Facebook, then they haven't got any money. They haven't got anything better to do with their time. And I was like, well, people are using Facebook for all kinds of reasons. Some people are adding images, video. Some people want to get their news from Facebook. Some people communicate with their friends using Facebook Messenger. So people use Facebook for all kinds of reasons. 7.5 million have an interest in the home and garden. 5.1 have high affluence, which basically means that they have disposable income for higher ticket items like holidays or cars or jewelry or fashion or obviously home improvement companies. Some companies have said to us, I've tried Facebook advertising before and it didn't work. And, so did we. We tried it a lot. We spent multiple thousands of pounds. Some companies say they only tried it with £100 or whatever. And of course, you're never gonna crack something with just £100 of testing. It's hard to get something right when you don't know how. So investing your money and your resource into learning these things was so important for us, because if we just sort of left it and be like, yeah, Facebook advertising doesn't work, then we wouldn't have got to the point where we're at now, where we can offer our services to home improvement companies. And I spoke to another company based in Manchester, nationwide company. They do like insulated conservatory roofs, so only on the interior of the building. And they basically had a member of staff come in that they employed just for Facebook. and he said he had that person in for 2 months and it didn't work. And I was like, okay, well, has this person ever run Facebook advertising before? He was like, no, he came straight from university. I was like, okay, has he worked in home improvements before? He's like, no, he came straight from university. And I was like, well, how can you expect someone that has no idea of what they're doing to then be able to create your strategy for moving forward? They've never done Facebook ads before. They've never worked with home improvements before. It took us ages to learn this kind of stuff. We went from recruitment strategy, and we found that didn't work at all for home improvement companies. So we had to completely change what we were doing, and we had to build this whole funnel thing. And we couldn't have done that if we'd just gone down the same old route as before. So you're probably thinking now, yeah, okay, this sounds like a lot of work. And to be honest with you, it is a lot of work, but don't worry, you won't have to do it. We basically create everything for you, from the Facebook management, building up the landing pages for the downloaded brochure, the actual brochure itself. We designed that. We create the different emails to go out on the different days, and we set that up so they're sent automatically, and then we build the free quote page as well. So the only thing that you really have to do is call the leads in when someone requests a free appointment. And what we found from this is also the exclusivity. So it took us, we started working with lead generation companies, whereby you sort of get four companies get the lead. And what we found that did was it just creates a race to the bottom. The companies are trying to all out compete each other for the same job. And it's just resulting in whoever gets the job, sometimes you wouldn't even want it because there's barely any profit in it. So we only work exclusively with the companies that we want to do business with. And that means that you're able to put your margins on top of that. We've also found that it creates an opportunity against people using Google. So if you're using Google AdWords, not only is it quite expensive for home improvement companies, but customers will typically be shopping around. And what we found is with our strategy using Facebook is that they weren't necessarily thinking about a kitchen at the time that we showed them the advertisement. It was only when they downloaded the brochure and then started reading through some of the emails and then got the ideas that, okay, yeah, I actually would be interested in a free quote. And then you've developed that trust with that client that they're only going to go with you because you've shown them everything, you've given them a range of products that they like. You've taught them about adding the value to the home, the installation process. Why would they go elsewhere? And that way it comes into sort of referrals as well. Obviously, I don't need to teach you about the importance of referrals in sort of the trade industry, because some companies don't even advertise. They just completely run their business on the back of their happy customers. And we know that one home improvement customer is worth over £10,000 in ad spend. So that means if you've got one happy customer, the lifetime value of that customer is £100,000. That's based on the average value of the work that you do for them being £5,000. When it comes to sort of kitchens, bathrooms, conservatory roofs, that's a sort of very average order value. So how does that work out in terms of with the Facebook advertising? Well, everything starts with a Facebook ad. And then the opportunity comes when you get the leads. From those leads, 80% of them will go to appointments. And then depending on the quality of your sales people, we expect around 50% conversion rate from appointments to sales. So now if you've got 4 happy customers that start referring friends, 3 friends might come to you and say, look, I would be interested in getting a quote. You worked with so-and-so, you've done a great job with them. And then perhaps 2 of them will actually commit to actually buying your product. And that cycle obviously starts again with those 2 people that purchase your product through that original referral. They're also going to refer their friends. So that cycle sort of continues. But without having a Facebook marketing strategy, it's hard to get those new people that haven't heard of your business or haven't heard of your home improvement before to get them on board. So who is this for? Basically, we want to work with companies that are looking to expand outside of referrals. Referrals are great, and obviously we understand the importance of them, but to expand a business and to grow a business, people need to understand that you need to do more and you need to invest more into your marketing strategy, and you need to advertise your business so that you can grow. And we want companies to understand the opportunity on Facebook for their home improvement company. We want to work with companies that also want to stay ahead of the competition. We know that, in the next 5 to 10 years, digital marketing is going to be the most important way of advertising your business. We do work with some companies that in the past had used like roundabout signs and things. And I was like, okay, so did you actually get any business from these roundabout signs? And one guy said to me, no, we didn't get anything. I was like, oh, so you haven't got them anymore? And he was like, well, yeah, we do. We're still doing them. I was like, why are you still doing them? He's like, well, I don't want my competition to have it. And I was like, your competition isn't going to want to have something that doesn't work. Like, there's no value in that. And he was like, yeah, didn't think of it like that. So obviously he's not doing them anymore. We also want you to understand the importance of digital for the future. Like I said before, what people are doing today in 5-10 years, or it's even started a few years ago in the importance of transitioning to Google or Facebook and SEO and blogs and building and, creating a strategy for the long-term success of your business in digital is so important. And then obviously ambitious people, that goes without saying. I mean, if you're happy as a sort of one-man band, then there's nothing wrong with that. Some people are very happy to just work on that basis, and they make plenty of money doing it like that. But this strategy won't really work for companies that are happy with just referral-based clients. We want to work with companies that are looking to expand, people that want to grow their team, people that want to grow outside of the area that they're in at the moment. So we're looking for ambitious people. And let me ask you a question as well. I mean, can your company afford to ignore digital? In 15 years or 10 years or 5 years from now, if you've ignored digital, people aren't communicating in the same way that they do now. Everyone's doing it through social media, or everyone's doing it online using forums and things. And if you haven't got a strategy in place, you're going to seriously miss out to the competition that are learning these things now. And also, do you need stability to grow? Are you sometimes worried about where the next lead or where the next job's going to come? You haven't got a 3-month pipeline of work that you can easily rely on, and you can easily turn on advertising and know that you're going to get work on the back of it. Or are you hoping, I hope I get a referral from this lady, or if I don't get a referral, then I'm going to be struggling for clients in a couple of months. You really want to have that strategy in place. And what would happen to your company if you ignored social? It might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but in 10 years or 5 years, or even a few years from now, if you want to pass your business down to your family or whatever, is there going to be a business there that is worth having if you haven't got a strategy to develop and grow the business? And what would happen if you could take a step back from the day-to-day running of the business? I totally appreciate some people like going on home appointments and some people like being on site, but others will want to take a step back. If you've been in the industry for a long time and you're feeling a bit worn out, do you still get the motivation to go down to a home appointment? Or do you want other people do you want a sales team to handle that for you? Do you want a project manager to go and set up quotes and handle the installation with the builders? I mean, that's a question I guess you've got to ask yourself. So I know I've gone through quite a lot here in a short period of time, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the opportunity that you can create using the right strategy on social media. And I really think it could, if you've got a home improvement company and you're thinking of using Facebook, trust me, we've tried huge amounts of different things, and this is the only thing that we've managed to get working on a consistent basis. And if you're interested in finding out how it could work for your business and how we would set it up for you, then there's a little box below where you can submit your details. We'll reach out to you. It's a free consultation. You don't have to commit to anything, but it will give you the opportunity to sort of learn more about the process. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully chat to you soon. Cheers.